What's going on, guys? Welcome to the next episode of StoryCorps from Heritage. And our next episode, we will be talking with Miss Porter about her experiences with the Berlin Wall, which she was there for when she was, I believe, 6 years old. And she's going to be telling us the details of that story. And I think that you guys are going to really find this interesting, especially those who are really interested in history. And I sat down and talked with her in the library resting room, and we had a nice conversation. I hope you guys enjoy hearing her story, because I enjoyed hearing what she had to say, and I appreciate you guys tuning into this episode, and I hope you guys enjoy it. You guys have a wonderful day, and enjoy this video. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Heritage StoryCorps, and today we are with Miss Porter, Miss Porter today. And she's going to be telling us a story of her childhood when the Berlin Wall was broken down. So, how old were you when this happened?
It was in '89, so I was 6. I was around 6, and we were living in Germany. My dad was stationed at an Air Force base in Germany when I was little.
Wow. Awesome. So, what do you remember? What could have been going through your mind as when this all was happening? Like, where were you? Like, what were you doing? What were you thinking? Stuff like that.
Sure. We were stationed on an Air Force base, but my family lived off of the base in a little village called Maligen, which was neat. I liked that we lived on the base for a little while, but we also really got an idea of what it was like to live in Germany and be like in the culture. And we lived in this 2-story house. We rented the upper floor, and our landlords were these really sweet German people who didn't speak any English. Oh. And the man that lived downstairs, his name was George, and we were really good buddies because I lived in Germany from the time I was 4 until 7, and so we lived above them, and I would hang out with him a lot, and he liked to garden, and I would speak English to him, and he would speak German at me because I didn't know any of it, but we were like best buds. And so I remember distinctly, we had heard news that they were going to open the wall, and everyone was really excited, and I love to roller skate, and my mom had taken me out on the street by our house, and I was on my skates, and just kind of as a rule, German people after World War II were not very nationalistic. They didn't hang flags, and they didn't you would never see a German person wearing like a tiny German flag pin like we would do in America with an American flag, but we were outside, and I heard music, and I was on my skates, and I was like, what is that? And my mom kind of looked around, and everyone that was out on the street just stopped because they were playing, like you could hear the German national anthem everywhere, like through the streets, and they were just so excited. So we stopped, and I remember just being on my skates, just kind of like, because I could tell that whatever was happening was really enormous, but I think in that moment I didn't realize the enormity of what it was for them to be reunified when they've been so fractured for a really long time. And I look back on that and just think that my dad being stationed in different places and us getting the opportunity to just see what life is like for people outside of America was so valuable, because I think sometimes living in the United States can be really insular, in that we just don't think about other people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I just really remember that moment. I remember feeling like I was a part of something, even though I wasn't 100% sure what it was. And not long after that, my dad had to go to Berlin, and he brought back a piece of the wall for me. Oh, that's cool. Which is cool. And so I always just thought that was a really just a momentous thing that I didn't even realize that I was going to get to, be a part of.
Well, with that, is there any other good memories that you have? Like, is that your favorite memory specifically, or is there another one that you really like to look back at and be like, oh, that was really cool?
Do you mean like in childhood in general, or living in Germany?
Living in Germany.
You know, when we were living there, my parents took me to some different castles and things, and so I always thought that was really, really interesting. I especially remember going to the castle that they have in Heidelberg. So I liked that, and I loved that the school that I went to had German classes in it, which I think really kind of shaped my future, because when I moved, eventually we moved back to the States, and when I enrolled in high school, German was offered in my school, and so I took German, and I have a minor in German from the University of Arkansas, and I'm certified to teach German even though I work in the library. So I feel like I've kind of taken that experience and you know, tucked it away, and so I have lots of memories of being there and meeting the people. I do have a funny memory about that same house that we lived in. So it was technically like 3 stories. The bottom is where the laundry, like washing machine and things were, and we shared it with George and his wife and their kids, and we lived on the top floor. And one day my mom was like doing laundry, and she said, we need to go down to the basement, and I want you to come with me, because I was little and she didn't want to leave me up there. But I only had this, like, I was basically in pajamas, but it was like this long t-shirt and no pants. And we got locked out of the house, and our landlord wasn't there, and I was like standing on the street. We were like outside of our house, like waiting for the landlord or my dad. And we didn't have cell phones because it was in the 80s. You guys don't know what that's like to be completely stranded. But I distinctly remember I had rain boots and like a long t-shirt on, and I remember being like, oh, this is bad. I wish somebody would come and let me back in the house. But anyway, that's a silly memory. But I have lots of memories. I started school there. I did kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade in Germany. And, you know, just the kinds of field trips that you take are different. It was like, let's go to this bakery that's been open since the 1700s, you know, just because there's just, they're old, the countries are older. And so just a lot of really cool memories that I think I would never have had if my dad had not chosen to be in the military.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, we really appreciate having you out today, and you taking the time to tell us that story and let us know a little bit about your story, which I found to be really interesting and really captivating, honestly. And so we're gonna stop it right there. And I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you very much for that. And do you happen to know how to say bye in German?
Do.
All right, so how would you say that?
You could say it in a couple ways. You could be very informal and say tschüss, or you could say auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bis später. That's like until later.
Okay. All right, let's do bis später like that. So you get over here and like look at the camera. All right, ready?
Bis später. Oh, bye. Tschüss.
You say things with your mouth, cobwebs and flies come